What is up, everyone? Rodolfo here again for part two of the video on how I became a Christian after many years of atheism, after many years of just going up and down, side to side, in many different philosophies, many different world beliefs, worldviews, and such. I guess I'd like to preface this video. I didn't preface the last video, but I'd like to preface this video by saying, um, I hope you like it. You know, uh, I getting right into the topic. I and continuing on from where I was at in the previous video. I want to say that. Not everyone, again, this isn't a reaching out to people that are not Christian. This isn't an attempt at like grabbing as many souls as possible, proselytizing or preaching on any level. I mean, it's always awesome when we have more people involved in Christianity so that we can all get along better. Do we want a uniform society? Do we want a uniform world? I don't know. That's up for debate for like another video, but on the whole, it just feels nice whenever we can all get along. And of course, religious diversity is also a very nice thing, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that one of the reasons why I didn't think religious diversity was a thing for me was because it just didn't align with a lot of things in my life. Like, a lot of things have to align in your life in order for good things to happen to you, for your whole routine or your whole just life in general to go well. Well, I mean, I was an atheist for at least 10 years. I had a lot of bad things happen to me. I was just very socially inadequate, meaning I was very socially unaware of things that were happening around me, and I was just very clueless as to what was going on, clueless as to who I had to be in order to get along with everyone in my family, in order to get along with everyone in society. So as you can tell, I'm an American. I live in California. Notwithstanding, it's a very Christian nation. We don't have an official religion. Our founders were deists, etc., etc. But at the same time, we do have a society that is mostly Protestant. I was going to say Pentecostal. That is mostly Protestant, and so the best way, in my opinion, to get along with a majority Christian nation is to be Christian, to be Protestant. And so, not trying to say here that if you live in China, you have to be, atheistic, or you have to be Confucian, or you have to be, whatever. But it does help a lot. It does help for when you immigrate into a country, for you to assimilate. Things go better for you. And I don't have experience as someone who has traveled a lot, who has traveled abroad, but it just makes sense. It just rings true for me because I've been an atheist. I've been an atheist for 10 years at least, and I've noticed that the type of discrimination and the type of things that happen behind closed doors, meaning people talk bad about you, and they don't invite you to events unless they're Christians and they want to convert you. They're like really adamant evangelicals and they want to convert you. Unless that is the case, people are not going to invite you to, in my experience, people are not going to invite you to many events thinking that you are the devil, essentially. I mean, if you've been like me as an atheist, as someone who didn't believe, and you've been an anti-theist, like one of those types of very, very sarcastic anti-theists, you know that they can't really be around Christians who just revere God, revere Jesus, and so um, the two are incompatible. And because of that, a lot of people are you're just going to get a lot of flack. You're going to get a lot of flack, and you're going to get a lot of backlash from even your own family members. I mean, I remember I was part of like an atheist. I am still part of an atheist group. Two atheist groups, I think, on Facebook, and my aunt found out about it, and she was just like, she's like those types of aunts that like is very strict, and when she finds out about something, she immediately tells like your mom, and so that like something can be done in order to change it. And so immediately my aunt called my mom, and she was just like, he shouldn't be on these types of websites, etc., etc. I was like 20 or 21 or 22 at the time, and so it was kind of odd and bizarre. But anyway, yeah, you get a lot of negative. You get into and you get a lot of negative feedback from people, and negative situations abound when you are an atheist. And so, I mean, it's no surprise that you're going to get a lot of people with depression. You're going to get a lot of people that are down in the dumps, and that they just don't know who to turn to, don't know what to do when they maybe they have a mental illness, and they just feel like they can't talk to anyone, and they can't pour their heart out to anyone. We live in a very patriarchal society still, and so we're gonna have a lot of obstacles in the way of getting the absolute best health that we can in our life. And so that applies to atheists as well, atheist males. And so, I mean, it's no surprise again that recently I found out, like about 2 or 3 months ago, that one of my friends, when I was going to college, I was part of a group of atheists, and he actually recently passed away because of suicide, because of depression, nihilism, and a lot of things like that. And so, it just hurts. It really hurts as an individual when you're an atheist, and I wanted out of that as soon as possible. And so that was one of the reasons why I started looking for spirituality on my own as an atheist. I was involved with many individuals that were atheistic or deistic or agnostic, and I just didn't feel like I fit in, as I was a pantheist. Thinking back now, I was looking for us to be fulfilled spiritually. I didn't believe in spirits per se, but I did want to connect with a higher power. I didn't believe in one, but I mean, I prayed. I mean, I did pray this one time. I remember, like, when I was down in the dumps, when I was fearing for my life. I was very hurt. I was very, the worst case scenario in my life. I called out to a higher power, and I actually got, I think my brain got rewired or something, because I started seeing things that were like way different from what I had originally seen them. And I don't know, it's up for debate as to how that actually happened, or like what the actual like methods were that all that occurred. But I felt better. I felt way better about myself and about my whole life. I felt like Christianity was the truth, like the absolute truth. And yeah, I'm looking back, that's a little radical. It's a little radical in me automatically going from atheist to someone who believes that the Bible is 100% true. Because, I mean, that type of leap, that type of only happens probably within Christian societies and Christian circles, or in just places where you grow up as a Christian, you lose your faith, and you think, oh hey, maybe what I originally thought was true. I mean, I've seen that happen to a lot of people. Unfortunately, they turn to a very extreme type of Christianity, not too different from what I was thinking, or what I was adopting, or what I was believing at this time. This was like 2014, 2015, when I was like reaching out to God. Not just God, but like a higher power. Maybe I don't know, who knows, maybe I was like reaching out to aliens and I got my questions answered, my prayers answered, who knows. But the thing is that at the time, I was going through a lot of harsh, just things, harsh events in life, and so I needed a way, I needed an outlet, I needed something to help me. Spirituality helps you on a on every level in your life, and so without spirituality, I can imagine that a lot of people they're just feeling empty. I mean, it's a stereotype. It's a stereotype that atheists and etc. they feel empty and they don't have a purpose. They don't like to believe in Buddhism and meditation for some reason, and it's just really hard for them. I don't know why they don't seek out further. I mean, I do know because I was there at one point, but I mean, I wasn't there forever. I wasn't there eternally, and so that's my little backstory. That's my little backstory on what happened to me personally. As I was, I mean, there's a lot more. Obviously, there's a lot more I can tell. I can fill up all of YouTube with everything that happened to me. But what I'm trying to say is that when someone becomes a Christian again, they usually do it because that's what they know. That's what they knew at one point. It's very hard I mean, there's a lot of like atheism in society nowadays that is sprouting up. It's like sprouting up in different areas. Supposedly, American society is being more atheistic and it's being more secular, should we say? And whether that's good or bad to you, I mean, that shouldn't really matter right now. I think the best thing to worry about is whether your friends are okay, whether your friends and society at large is excuse me, coronavirus, whether society at large is doing well. Because I mean, we have atheistic societies, we have Christian societies, we have religious societies, we have Jewish societies, we have Islamic societies. Which ones are the ones that are health-wise doing well? I mean, you can debate this all day long, but at the end of the day, as someone who has personally witnessed how atheists act versus how Christians act, both of them are flawed. But there's just something about religious people, particularly Christian people, in my opinion, that at the end of the day, will have you fulfilling every type of quota or need. Excuse me. Every type of need in your life. Whether it's the need to talk, whether it's the need to ask for help, whether it's the need to, I don't know, just anything. Think of anything, and it's basically like a forum or like the internet or Google, there will be answers there for you, and there will be people there that want to help you. You can say the same about atheism, but honestly, I don't think that it's at the same level. I don't think that I'm busy. Wait, who's it? I thought it was someone knocking at my door. It won't be at the same level, and so at the end of the day, it's for me, it's pretty obvious like which I should choose, and so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to choose to go back to Christianity, but I couldn't. I just couldn't put my finger. I couldn't just immediately decide to be Christian back, to be a Christian again. I couldn't immediately decide to just reconvert. And so for a long time I just thought, well, I'll try it out and I'll see how it goes. But I just kept losing my faith. I kept losing my faith. I kept losing my faith, and I kept losing faith in having faith, and I kept backsliding. I kept, etc., etc. This is the story of like every Christian who has trouble with the modern day world, and so they leave their religion forever. That's the thing. That's the thing that I have against extreme religion, extreme parts of Christianity, where you're kind of like, well, it doesn't align with science, and science is what provides vaccines for us, or science is what provides the cure, and so I'm just gonna rely on science for now. And it's just like, why were you even Christian in the first place? Like, why would you want something based on faith when you're gonna go for something based on something else? But anyway, not to judge or critique anyone. I think that, the whole point of this post, is to get you to see my perspective. And so my perspective was and is that traditionalism and should I end it right now? Yeah, I should probably end it. But it's 17 minutes, and this is part 2, and I know I haven't spoken much about what like actually made me convert into. I did say that I prayed to God or aliens or whatever at one point, and then I had my prayer answered. But other than that, I haven't really spoken about what actually made me turn into a Christian back for the second or third time. But thank you all for watching. I'll try to speak more on part 3 on what made me convert, become all these different faiths, and reconvert to Christianity. So thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day.